WESN.
Hello there and welcome to AM Prime on WESN Content Capital. Before we even start this repatriation and reintegration process that we've already failed, or are we doomed to fail?
You've got to invest in the institutions that you've established to carry out those sorts of core functions.
We now get into the regional updates to give you an understanding of what's happening across our neighboring islands.
We have available a number of films that are worth showing.
So it was day one when the French Revolution started to develop the concept of universal human rights.
What happened this time is unprecedented. It's one of the largest terrorist attacks in history.
Let's welcome Carl to the program. Carl is over there next to himself. Hello, Carl.
Silky anteater or pygmy anteater, and we have two of the three species of anteaters right here.
This is Face of Sports, WESN Content Capital. How you felt about the kiss on the lip?
That's the business. I'm nothing to do with that.
I find that was distasteful.
The national senior team, whether you like it or not, that is the model for all other teams to follow.
I'm assuming that the regional requirement may be a much stricter requirement.
This is not about Pro League and Super League. This is a league run by the Normalization Committee that I'm responsible for.
Nobody expected FIFA to fund this arrangement.
If we don't get a professional attitude towards this, we are doomed for failure.
You break the balance, trip the leg, control the body.
They ain't gonna stand put forever.
Why you want the Chiefs to lose so? Why you want the Chiefs to lose so?
They already have two. Lamar don't
Why?
have.
You're jealous because you know the Chiefs getting closer to the Patriots. Let's go to the last part.
No,
of the game.
no.
Let's go to the last part.
WESN.
Hello, hello, Trinidad and Tobago. My name is Mark Anthony Peter, and welcome to Breakthrough. All right, it's a wonderful Monday morning, and I'm so glad that you've chosen Breakthrough. You've chosen WESN Content Capital, and you're on with us. Thank you so much for joining us. It is going to be a wonderful discussion with our spotlight guests because we are talking about the Kaiso dynasty. And one of the guests here, she's going to tell us a little bit about it, how she got involved, and how she got involved in her craft as well, before we bring on our next guest. So, joining me at the Breakthrough table is our first guest, Danielle Lala Joseph. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. A bit nervous, but I'm fine.
Don't worry. Like I said off air, I have you. Don't worry. So, before I get into the event, I want to know about you a little bit. So, the name of the event is the Kaiso Dynasty, right? Mm-hmm. So, first thing that comes to mind, people singing Kaiso, people singing Calypso. But you are actually doing something that very interesting, right? So, tell me, what are you doing? And if you can expand on how you got started in it.
So I will be doing spoken word.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
The title of my piece is "A Born for This," or "Born to Fet," more or less. how I started in spoken word. I always liked poetry and singing and expressing myself through lyrics and stuff like that. And so during high school, you know, my theater arts teacher, she always behind me like, you should do something with your work, you should do something with your work. And I just started using that opportunity to write calypsos for fellow students. I have never done it on my own, like on such a grand scale.
Right.
But I have my journals of stuff.
Okay. All right, so it started, first of all, big up to all of the arts teachers out there, the visual arts, the theater arts, the music teachers. We know how to do the thing. We know how to do the thing. And when we see potential in a student, we see potential. But so you started writing for other students, not necessarily for yourself. Okay, so then how did we transition from writing for other people to being the person behind the mic?
So, fun story. Last year, I did some work with a competition that I was a part of. And a friend of mine, she was a part of it, and she was like, I made a costume actually, a carnival costume.
Okay.
For the competition. And she was like, you wasting your talent, why you don't do something? It have so much open doors there just for you to walk through. Why it is you're wasting your talent? And I was like, a bit clueless, because being the one to give out and not be a part of. And she started opening doors, and then scrolling through Facebook, minding people's business.
As we like to call it, Facebook.
Yes. I saw it and I asked about it. And she told me, she said, well, yeah, they're taking place right in the savannah there. And I was like, really? She said, yeah, you should definitely go. And I wrote a piece like 2 hours before.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 hours before, and I went with it. I was nervous because it was dreadful. I wasn't sure what I was going to see, what I was going to meet, what the experience would be like, but I'm here, so it was fun, I guess.
Okay, and you're on the lineup of the cast.
Yes,
and
I am.
That's great, that's great. So it's always interesting to hear these stories, and the reason I always try to get these stories out there is because so many things happen by chance, and we don't always know where it would lead, right? I had a guest on here, just a quick story, I had a guest on here last year. She's from Trinidad, but she is part of the Lion King production in Germany. Right? And then what happened was she was dropping someone off to audition. And then somebody was like, you auditioning? She's like, no. The friend wrote down her name for her. And then when she came back to pick up who she was transporting, it was like, oh, they're calling your name just now. She was like, what do you mean they're calling my name just now? No, I put down your name. So it's always, we love those friends and those family members that are always those links, those sort of important links to what we're about to do. So that's great. So you wrote the piece 2 hours before. First part of the question, what was the piece about? What was the piece? Yeah.
So the piece is about love and culture, basically.
Okay.
It's expressing what it is like to be somebody that loves to fet. Somebody that loves to enjoy the carnival culture, to be a part of it. Yeah, and doing it from a very young age. So it was basically expressing the love for the art form.
Okay, so you went with that. So you said you didn't know what you were about to see, what you were about to walk into. Describe for me, if you can, the moment of, oh, this is what it is. Okay. This is interesting. Like the moments in and how you felt after, if you can remember.
So what happened was when I got there, I did what was required of me, like the signing and stuff. And I sat there and I was seeing all these people that I would normally see on TV. Like behind the screen, I'm actually seeing them, and I was like, wow, you really want to do this? You going to do this? Okay, yes, we're going to do this. Don't be sidetracked. And then when I was told that I'm the second person in line, I was like, no, we can't do this. But when I walked in, everyone was so welcoming, and they made the nerve-wracking that I was going through, they made it so much easier because of how welcoming they were and how warm they were. And while saying my piece, they were actually interested, they paid attention, got a few smiles and a few giggles, so, you know, it kind of lightened up the weight.
Of course.
Then when I finished the audition and I walked out, I was like, we did this. It was fun.
Okay.
It was fun.
I love that because, so first of all, it's a beautiful story. I love it. And I can see how a bit of an overwhelming situation it may have been, but when you're surrounded by community, when you're surrounded by people who are genuinely, they're now meeting you. But these are people that you've seen all your life, right? So it's such a relieving moment when the people that you look up to, the people that you've seen doing this for so long, they are there and they are supporting you. And it's the fact that, and there's something about, like, we love friends and family and they support us, but when it's people that you don't know, there's something about that removal of that relationship, and they're just clapping because they choose to, not because they feel like they have to, and that's so rewarding.
And it feels like home.
Yes.
It feels like home.
Yes. So hopefully, as the Kaiso dynasty continues, it feels like, as you said, it feels like some sort of home and some sort of safe haven, a sense of safety for everyone. So I'm guessing, so this is kind of like your first stint on the stage behind the mic. So it's very, very early. You passed the audition, which is great. Congratulations.
Yes, thank
you. Right? So you didn't even know if you were gonna, before I get to my next question, something just popped into my head. Even if you didn't make it, was the experience worth it?
Yes, it was. Okay. It was. It definitely was.
Great. Because sometimes I'd always try to, because sometimes we don't always know what we're going to walk into, but I always try to live my life this way in terms of just the experience is good enough, and whatever happens after, it's great either way. So it's still early in your spoken word career. Do you have any vision for the future? And when I say future, it could be 20 years, 10 years, next year, tomorrow. Anything.
Well, I do have plans.
Okay.
I don't know how to put this. Because of the fact that I made this milestone, I decided I would like to push myself a bit further.
Okay.
So come 2026, I aspire to actually be a part of the Calypso family. Yes.
Great. All right, so we love that and we're locking that in. And listen, even if, I'll say this, and we have plans, and sometimes the path is not always how we see it, but life has a way of working itself out. Indeed. And we end up in it. And even though we may have an image of the goal, but when it doesn't match, but sometimes when we just take a step back and we're in the midst of the journey, we're like, oh, I am here. So let's just go further. So having said that, going back to the Kaiso dynasty now, what are you looking forward to? Aside from your own performance, who are the people that you're looking forward to seeing perform? And what are you looking forward to in terms of the overall experience? Being a performer there and experiencing it all.
I am looking forward to seeing, I can't even start calling names to end calling names. Everybody just so talented and so gifted, and the music that I heard to come forth, so it's very inspiring. I just look forward to seeing joy and everyone expressing their way of happiness and culture and the love that it comes with. and portraying it for people that would be looking at us and supporting us and applauding us for our hard work.
Right.
So something that, if you don't mind going back to something that my mother always used to tell me, even as a child, when you fall, you're always told, dust off your knees and get up and go again. So I think that even if I didn't make it to this far,
right,
I would have shake the dust off and go again.
Of course.
The journey is never about where you necessarily want to be at. It's about how you get there. It's about holding on to each memory of how you get there, so that when you are finally there, you can look back and say, the hard work was worth it.
Right.
You know? So for Kaiso Dynasty, based on the culture and the love and everything that I've felt so far, I look forward to greatness.
Great.
Yes.
Lovely. Thank you. And if we could just sort of pull up the flyers that we have there for the Kaiso Dynasty, let's just talk about it really quickly. The grand opening is happening on Thursday, February 13th. You can see all of the ticket outlets. The venue is at Radisson.
Yes.
Lovely. Okay, great. The Kaiso Dynasty, the New Globe Experience grand opening. All right, showtime is 8 p.m. And I'm sure when they mean 8 p.m., they mean 8 p.m. You know, all your trainees, right? Tickets, single 200, 2 for 300, special reserve 350. Listen, those are amazing prices. Let's go to the next. Let's go to the next flyer. Look at that cast. Look at that cast. Like, you have so many amazing people lined up for you. I can't name them all. This is only an hour show, right? I can't name them all. But that's amazing, all right? That is amazing. Next flyer, please. And so we're gonna, and this is the lineup. This is the lineup of all of the nights. Opening night, February 13th, 14th, 15th, all the way to the 27th.
Yes.
All right, 20th, 21st, and then the 26th and the 27th. Like, this is absolutely amazing.
So
all right.
actually on this flyer, fun story.
Okay, this is fun, quick fun story. You can see all of the ticket outlets, and then we're going to get a fun story really quickly.
I hope I don't put anybody in trouble with doing this.
Oh, careful.
But when I saw the lineup of the dates,
right,
I was amazed because one of the shows is actually landing on my birthday.
Oh!
Yes! So the fact that my piece is being born to Fete, and it is around Carnival, and is about being
born
for this.
Right.
You know, it's like
definitely a very
a celebration for me.
It is.
Yes.
It is. That is great. That is so
yes,
amazing. I'm so happy for you.
Thank
and
you.
I genuinely support you in that. Ladies and gentlemen, Trinidad and Tobago, we're going to take a quick break. She's not going anywhere, but she's going to be joined by another guest. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Transform your home with PCU Plus. From stylish furniture to the latest appliances, we have everything you need to create your perfect space. At PCU Plus, we offer fair prices and affordable financing options that are cheaper than hire purchase agreements. With convenient locations in San Fernando, Tobago, Arima, and our lifestyle showroom in Barataria, you're never far from the best deals. Visit PCU Plus today and discover why we're the top choice for quality furniture and appliances. PCU Plus. Quality you trust. Prices you'll love. Visit one of our locations or find us online to start transforming your home today.
Hi, I'm Claudette, radiographer at the radiology departments at the community hospital. We offer high-quality service with state-of-the-art equipment in X-ray, ultrasound, CT, and mammogram. Come, our friendly staff awaits you.
Give us a call at 235-5479.
The Community Hospital of Seventh-day Adventist,
where good private health care is affordable.
So we're back and better than ever.
Your show have always appeared to be a show that is focused on going to the cause or looking to the cause.
We hardly ever talk about the white-collar crime, though. We always talk about the ones that involve more as physical violence against individuals.
The citizens will only measure transmission when water starts to flow through their taps.
The Constitution doesn't talk about local election.
Contract mafia that's responsible for looting the country, and they own and operate these politicians.
So if you are running a country and you can't say nothing as a prime minister, please take up your bag and go.
It is not comparative to the murder figures, but it is in fact very high.
I believe he's protecting certain individuals.
Hello, Trinidad and Tobago, and we are back to Breakthrough. All right, so we just heard one of our guests just sort of tell her story so freely, and part of the lineup for the Kaiso Dynasty, and joining us at the Breakthrough table is one of the other performers of the Kaiso Dynasty. Please welcome Aaron Duncan. Good morning.
Good morning, thanks for having me.
Not a problem. How you doing?
I'm good all the time.
Very good.
Yeah.
So, the Kaiso Dynasty, how did this, how did you get involved with this? And I'm gonna start with the same question, last question that I asked her. What are you looking forward to the most with this performances?
Right, well, I've been in Kaiso Dynasty, which was originally Kaiso House for 5 years now. Okay. I started at 16 years, and it has been a great journey, and I intend to stay with them for as long as I can. What I look forward to is just putting on a great show for Kaiso Dynasty at Radisson's, and for everyone to just love what I am contributing and what the entire show is contributing, yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And so, I know from as early as, I've seen you from as early as, I want to say 2015. I think that's when Can You Feel It came out,
yeah.
right? And so from 2015, that's 10 years,
yeah.
Right, to this year. What has the journey been like?
It's been a great journey, man. It's been a learning journey. It's been a journey where I was able to not only stay as an artist, but branch off into producing, graphic designing, the business aspect of music, everything. As you guys may know, I am the producer of the Summer Scene Rhythm, which was Lady Lava's Ring Finger. Right. And I was very grateful for all the experiences that I got, and I could only thank God for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No, and obviously, you having performed in like Junior Soca Monarch,
yeah.
Chutney Soca Monarch as well, I believe so, yes. And obviously Junior Calypso Monarch as well. So we heard a Daniel story, and to anybody who's starting off, how would you describe the journey to them, and what are some of the lessons that you learned throughout this journey, and some advice that you can give some young ones?
I would say that the journey is not an easy one. It's only easy or fun, not easy, but fun, the time when you, quote unquote, in Trinidad terms, get through with a big song or something like that. But before that, the grind is on. You know, you have to push, you have to fight to get to that destination. And a lot of people always believe that we need to give them something that the world owes them. This industry doesn't owe them anything. Nobody put a gun to anybody's head and was like, yo, become an artist.
Right.
You know, you decided that you have a talent and you want to do this, so you have to be able and you have to be mentally prepared to take what comes with it, you know? And it's not just an easy handout. Nobody is going to give a handout in this industry. I learned that, and that's why I decided to not only be an artist, but do writing, producing, all these things for myself, so that I am able to bridge the gap and not just stay in one spot waiting for somebody to help me. I wanted to help myself.
For sure, because I think what we don't realize, it is a creative industry, and you do have to be multi-skilled as a creative. I mean, now that you're, Daniel, now that you're stepping into being the person behind the mic, you started off writing for people. Doesn't mean that you have to stop writing for people, right? And all of those things. But one thing that you mentioned, and I think it links to something that I always talk about on the show, which is authenticity, right? And being authentic to yourself. There's a saying, to your own self, be true. How important is that as an artist, coming from the experiences that you have had? How important is that for the artists themselves?
Being authentic?
Yes.
100%, 1,000%. Being yourself. Never try to be someone that you're not, you know? Yes, we may have people that we may want to look at as examples on how we want to pattern our career, but we must always try to mix it to become the best of ourselves. You know, not just to just take from, I don't want to be Sparrow, I don't want to be Marshall, I want to be Aaron Duncan, but I want to learn from these icons, from these legends, and put it in my own way to become my own unique self. Yeah. Okay, great.
Danielle spoke about something at the beginning of her story. She just happened to audition for the Kaiso Dynasty by chance because a friend encouraged her to do it.
Right.
Something with that, there's something to be said about the people in the artist's life, the people who understand, the people who see the talent. Your theater arts teacher saw your talent and said, do something more. Your friends saw the talent. Who are those important people for you, and how important is it to have those important people in the artist's life? Because it can be very lonely at times.
Yeah. Well, at an early stage, the people who saw my talent was my parents, you know. At the age of 3 years old, they saw me performing for my school choir, and then decided, hey, he has a talent, and I was very willing to go into it because I love music and I love performing and all these things and being in the spotlight, because originally I was a backup for my sister and I didn't want to be a backup, I wanted to be up front. And from then, we went on into the Junior Calypso Monarch, where I made history at the age of 6, being the youngest to win, and we never stopped since. So I would say that my support system were my parents, you know?
Yes, and obviously when they tell you they keep you grounded, they keep us,
of course,
you have to. Yeah, I know it too well. When the parents had to snatch it back and be like, hey, you know. But what I want to ask as well, what are some of those moments where, okay, so let's say, you know, you achieved Junior Calypso Monarch, you achieved National Junior Soca Monarch, all of these things. What determines the next step after all of those things? Because what people see, as you mentioned the grind, what people see are just what they see on stage. They don't see what happens behind the scenes. But what All right, so you just came off of the stage, Junior Calypso Monarch. You got it, and then you ask, okay, where do we go from here? What are usually your next steps after certain, I would call them certain goals or certain milestones, that sort of thing?
What's the next level that I could achieve?
Yeah.
You know, because you can't stay stagnant. You have to always see what is the next big thing that you can do.
Right.
You know, that is something that is in every artist's mind when they have a big song for the carnival or when they have a big song for the summer. Right now, I'm holding a title for that whole summer steam rhythm thing, and everybody is looking at, well, what are you going to come with next year? So it's always in your mind to step up, because if you don't step up, the same way how everybody love you today, the next day they're going to be like, what you sing this year? You know, you drop anything this year, and that's the worst question any artist want to hear. You know, like, Aaron, you drop anything this year? And that time you drop 10 songs. So I start telling them anytime that happened to me, now I ain't sing this year, right? Yeah. I ain't sing this year. You know, I take another break, thing, because I fed up. Yeah.
I mean, on that note though, while always looking to the next step, breaks and rest is also important. But Daniel, hearing all of this, all of the advice and the journey coming from Aaron, how does that make you feel for your journey moving forward?
It only goes to show that a lot of hard work is going to come into it, and a lot of sacrifice will have to be made to be able to push forward and to continue going regardless.
Right. Yeah. Okay, good. And so, what are some of the things, and I'll open this question to both of you, what are some of the things that you look forward to in terms of just life and your career on a whole? Not just the career of this specific thing, but just the career just the overall career.
In my life, honestly, first thing I want to do is just continue getting closer to God. I think like my career recently became second into all of that. I just want to become closer to God and let God guide me in anything that I want to do. Yesterday was the Soca Champion semis, and everything that they asked me, they always saying, you know, well, Aaron, how you feel about being here today? And I was just like, you know, I'm happy that God brought me here. They asked how you feel if you make it to the semis or if you don't make it. And all I would say is that if you make it to the finals or if you don't make it, and all I would say is the option is up to God, you know. It's whatever God wants to me. If God wants me to go on that final stage come the 20th, I will be there. If he doesn't, I won't, you know. So it's just about me strengthening my relationship with my creator.
Of course.
Yeah, man.
Okay, that's a wonderful answer. Yes.
Well, for me, I think it's down the same avenue. Always putting God first, putting him first, putting him centered, having him all around. Because without God, nothing is possible. So for me, moving forward in my personal life, you know, just as I would have been encouraged, not just by peers or teachers, mostly my mom, mainly, you know, she would always say, I live my life, it's time for you to live yours. And be your own individual, have your own identity. I pushed as a mother, I pushed to encourage my children to push forward and do the same and encourage them to be their better selves as the step goes along.
Okay, good. So there's something that I always, that I hope to do for this show soon, and it's to, because I've always interviewed the artists, the creators, the directors, but I always want to do something where I interview the parents. I always want to do something where I interview the friends, because some friends will get it, other friends will not. Some family members will get it, other family members will not, right? And it's not necessarily their fault, they're just not understanding it. But what I'm hearing from both of you is the importance of those close people in your lives to keep you centered, to keep you just a reminder of the things that are important as well. So coming back to the Kaiser dynasty, Aaron, so you said you've been doing it for
5 years in the call it Kaiso Dynasty, yeah.
Right. And you said it was Kaiso House before,
Yeah, it was
right?
Kaiso House before.
Cool. So we saw the lineup of all of the artists happening there. Having performed there for about 5 years, what can you tell the audience that they can expect?
A grand show, you know. Kaiso Dynasty now has always been one of class and always puts on an amazing show for the viewers. And back then when it was Kaiso House, it was even harder for us because we were competing with the village right next door at the Queen's Park Savannah, you know. The village is free, so anybody could come in. Kaiso House, Kaiso Dynasty, you have to pay to get in. Right. And even when people would try to boycott us to go to the village, we still putting on a better show at that point in time. So we are known for class, we are known for good energy, and it wouldn't be nothing short this year neither. You know, we have a great cast, we have young, we have veterans, we have everything. So come out and see, yeah.
I mean, come out and see. You know, let's just pull up the flyers really quickly just so that we can remind people of where they can get their tickets, how much the tickets cost, all of those things. So, the Kaiso Dynasty again, the new global experience. I love that. This is a great flyer, by the way. I love it. Location, Radisson Hotel, February 13th to the 27th. Showtime is 8 p.m. Again, tickets, single tickets, $200. 2 people on one ticket for $300. That is a steal of a deal. Grab a friend and come. Yep. And then you have special reserve, $350. Tickets are available on Island E-Tickets. First of all, I would just like to say shout out to Island E-Tickets for just existing. You all have been doing an amazing, amazing job of having things available, tickets available for all of our local and regional events happening there. Tickets outlet, Radisson Hotel, all of those. You have many outlets that you can go to. Let's see the lineup one more time. These are the people. All right, so you have Aaron Duncan, your young brother, Dwayne O'Connor, and then you have also Tizeo O'Connor, young poster Gypsy, we have our guest Daniel Joseph, and all of these amazing people. Karine Ashe, shout out to Karine Ashe as well for doing amazing work. I've been really, really impressed with what she's been doing. Let's see the other flyer really quickly as well. Again, opening night, 13th of February. And you have all of those nights to go to, all right? And that is the Kaiso Dynasty. So, thank you so much. Bring it back to us. Thank you so much, Daniel, right, for joining us this morning. Aaron, we're going to come back to you after the break with a possible special guest. Let's see. But Daniel, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Trinidad and Tobago, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Maybe he landed here totally by coincidence. But if by chance he's admiring your fresh coat of Benjamin Moore soft sky blue, well, that's a pretty high compliment. Coming from an expert.
Pastor J, I want to get a tattoo.
You really want
to me. Respond to me how you would respond to me.
The first question I'll ask is why?
Controversial taboo topics.
We get so consumed by church, we forget that we have to live the life of being a Christian outside of the Sunday.
Like you say, we think going to a service makes us a Christian.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. So we are about to hear the second time Pastor J wanted to take a tattoo.
Would have been late last year and early this year.
Oh gosh. Hope Unfiltered podcast with Pastor J and Ren.
Every word, every line, every paragraph depicts a real moment in someone's life. A father, a sister, a mother, a brother. We at Newsday are dedicated to you, the people, and through independent, unwavering journalism, strive to always bring your stories to life. Because your stories are more than just words. Newsday, independent and credible.
Pastor J, I want to get a tattoo.
You really
respond
wanna-
to me. Respond to me how you would respond to me.
The first question I'll ask is why?
Controversial taboo topics.
We get so consumed by church, we forget that we have to live the life of being a Christian outside of the Sunday.
Like you say,
services.
we think going to a service makes us a Christian.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, so here we are about to hear the second time Pastor J wanted to take a tattoo.
Would have been late last year and early this year.
Oh gosh.
Hope Unfiltered podcast with Pastor J and Ren.
Transform your home with PCU Plus. From stylish furniture to the latest appliances, we have everything you need to create your perfect space. At PCU Plus, we offer fair prices and affordable financing options that are cheaper than hire purchase agreements. With convenient locations in San Fernando, Tobago, Arima, and our lifestyle showroom in Barataria, you're never far from the best deals. Visit PCU Plus today and discover why we're the top choice for quality furniture and appliances. PCU Plus. Quality you trust. Prices you'll love. Visit one of our locations or find us online to start transforming your home today.
The newest book is here, Closer to the Church, the debut novel by author and former mayor Louis Lee Singh. Available at all the home store branches, Barataria, West Mall, Shogunas and C3 San Fernando. Paper-based bookshop 10 Nook Avenue St. Anne's, WESN 30A Gattaca Street Woodbrook, Metropolitan Bookshop Ariapita Avenue Woodbrook, and all RIK bookstores nationwide. Available online as paperback on Amazon.com and Kindle for e-readers. For more info, call 628-5835 or 389-6504. Also available from author Louis Lee Singh, I Used to Live in Heaven, Letters to My Granddaughters, and Local Government in Trinidad, Conspiracy Against the People.
This is 10 Questions. I'm Andy Johnson. The distance from where we should be in the world in going forward on our commitments with climate change.
The effects of climate change that cannot be accounted for. It's called loss and damage, and we're seeing loss and damage happening so much more in this decade and the previous decade.
The principal term there was this question of the correspondent banking issues.
That is why we're trying to build capacity with this country here, Trinidad and Tobago, and other countries in the region.
Man is not showing any signs of stopping or even slowing down. More than half of the forest in Trinidad is already gone.
All the plants and all the animals and all of the nice clean water and fresh air and everything had to be on this planet for humanity to have a chance.
We have small change when it comes to countries that can take decisions, and when they speak, the world listens.
The General Assembly is a very democratic forum. And Trinidad and Tobago has the same vote as Canada, in spite of the obvious difference in size.
And we're back to Trinidad and Tobago to Breakthrough, and we're still here with Aaron Duncan. All right, so really quickly, I want to get into some what we call sort of the 9 questions that we have here. We cannot say 10 questions because Andy Johnson already has a show called 10 Questions on this show. Right. So as to not fall into any sort of copyright issues with Mr. Johnson, these are 9 questions. So, and answer them as quickly as you can.
No problem.
What is your go-to comfort food?
Anything that is home cooked, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, mom.
All right. Nice. If you could instantly learn any language or speak any language, which one would it be?
Spanish.
Okay. What's the most, aside from singing, producing, graphic design, all of those creative things, what's the most random talent that you have that nobody knows about, or few people know about?
I double jointed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Read the book or watch the movie?
Watch the movie.
Okay. What is your favorite thing about anything? What is your favorite thing about Trinidad and Tobago?
The woman.
Okay, great, lovely. If you could, this is sort of a little bit more fun. If you could have us any superpower, what would it be?
Probably the time travel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
The best piece of advice that I've ever received was that time waits on no one, and it's up to you to make use of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember who gave you that advice?
My dad.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Right. Favorite memory of performing, while performing?
My favorite memory would have to be in Belize.
Okay.
When I was performing, the whole school was singing the song. At that point in time, it was in 2016, Can You Feel It? And the whole school, even before I even went to the performance or everything, the airport, literally everybody in the airport knew Iran, and it was just a great experience. In fact, every Caribbean country that I've ever been to is a great experience, and I love going away to perform because they always accept me with open arms.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, the last one, and take your time with this question. How do you define success?
Success, I believe, is defined by doing your duty as a servant of God and making sure that He is proud of you. Yes, we are all, as they say, sinners, but in this world, there's certain things that you have to do to make a living. And once you know that you're not doing something that is illegal or wrong totally in the eyes of God, and you're being successful in it, and you know that God is smiling on you, because trust me, it is no, because the blessings just continue to flow, you know you're successful.
Amen.
Yeah, man.
I love that. So just before we wrap up, I hear you have a couple stories that I want you to tell me about. So we were talking off air with your mom, and she said that as early as 2 years old, you were able to sing in key, you were able to listen to when people were off, all of those things.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of those? Well, you may not have remembered, but they would have obviously told you those stories. What are some of those stories that you can share with us?
I know from a very young age, I always was into music and always, was on pitch.
Okay.
And could know when a band is going off and know when something is wrong with a band that many others who wouldn't be as into music as I am would know. Even up to the rehearsals with the band for the same Soca Champion semi-finals, I would know how I want the band to play, and I'm not a musician. I can't play any instrument, but I know how I want each thing to sound, like a kind of Boogsy Sharp thing.
Right.
And so from very young, I was able to stop a band and be like, no, they're playing this wrong. This is a 6-year-old boy talking that, telling big experienced things that they're playing it wrong. So I was really good with my ears from so long.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what would the feedback be like from, if you're ordering around big experienced people?
I guess it should be a laughter because I'm 6 and they're 55 or whatever. I tell it, yeah.
Okay. All right. And you mentioned Belize. It's a wonderful country. I've been there as well. And to anybody who gets the chance to go there and perform there, it's always a great experience. You mentioned the memory that you have of it.
Yeah.
What else do you remember from that trip?
I remember the love that everybody shared at Belize, and how how they captured the story of Aaron Duncan. You know, they know more of my songs than I even know. And it was so amazing because you would think that when you're going up there, they're calling you for the songs that you would consider or your country or your fan base would consider as your hits.
Right.
But when I went up there, they are playing songs that I sang way before I started to actually do this as what some, because as you said, you know me from Can You Feel It? So where people may know me from that breakthrough, they was playing the music from even before that, and that was an amazing feeling for me. Yeah.
Okay, cool. This is great. So one thing that I want to just sort of, before we wrap up really quickly, if there were anything, I don't believe in necessarily regrets. I think everything that we have, everything that we experience is something to learn through life, and God has us go through many, many things to learn things and to be better and stronger people. But if there was anything that you could tell your younger self, tell 2015 Aaron Duncan about, not just about the career, but about life, what would you tell him?
I would tell him that this whole thing isn't just what it seems, you know, because I went through it harder than many people would have, because at the age of 6 is when these spotlights came on me without any notice, without any warning. I was just in the people's face. And at the age of 6, it was a big thing. And then at the age of 12, it became an even bigger thing with Can You Feel It? Because now it wasn't just locally and different parts of the globe, but with Can You Feel It? It was all over the whole Caribbean. I have to perform day and night, Marshall Monday, this one, that one, Baywatch, all the... Firstly, there was a big issue for a person that underage to perform in these big fets. It had a lot of crazy things. But I would tell him that it's not going to be easy, because it was a mental strain as a 12-year-old boy, you know, doing these things. Like, I just want to play my game.
Yeah. I just want to sing my song, and let people enjoy it.
You know, now is a big thing, and Aaron Duncan is like it had this one article that said Aaron Duncan is the youth star of the Caribbean, and then that's where the whole Aaron Duncan is the next Marsha Montano, and all these things started to jump on, and that puts a lot of weight on your shoulder, you know, because everybody expecting you to live up to a certain thing. But it's from that and growing up helped me to realize that, hey, I don't want to be the next Marsha Montano, though. I don't want to be the next Mighty Sparrow. I don't want to be anybody. I want to be the best. I want to be the best Aaron Duncan.
Of course.
You know? So I'm not trying to do everything that Marshall did, because I think that is what many people think when they see me. I watch a lot of comments. I watch a lot of feedback from people, and they are like, yo, we put this confidence in you to be the next guy. And I'm like, I just want to be me. I just want to be me. I just want to be me. Yeah. And I believe that since I started to understand that I just want to be me, and I want to go on my own path, and I want to figure out my things, I became happier. Okay. Yeah.
That is great. That is great. Aaron, thank you so much for joining us. It was a great discussion. I really, really appreciate it. And this is the thing about Breakthrough. We have all of these discussions, and there's so many lessons to be learned. There's so many nuggets of wisdom that we always get, I would say, from every episode, and it doesn't matter the age of the person, it doesn't matter the experience. We always get some biography of life from, especially in this artistic world, in this creative industry, because it's not always easy, but it's also a very rewarding experience as well. Yeah. So, Aaron, I want to thank you once again. Thank you so much. Thank you to Danielle. Don't forget the Kaiso Dynasty. Check it out on all the social media. Be there. Those ticket prices are amazing. Again, $200 for one person, $300 for two people. Special reserves, $350. You have all of the ticket outlets there. On that note, and I will be there as well. I am making sure that I can find myself there. All of the nights are there. Opening night, second show, third show, all of those things. 13th to the 27th of February. we need to keep all of these things in mind, and this is how we keep the art form alive.
Yeah.
Not just with soca, but with calypso and
Yeah.
all of these things. And Daniel, our sister, who is doing spoken word, right? She got through with that. It's an amazing story. So, ladies and gentlemen, Trinidad and Tobago, that is it for us. Wish you a wonderful, wonderful week. Bye-bye.